Hi, friends, and welcome to day 8 of the holiday challenge. So, today we're going to talk about Christmas trees. Now, I know that's kind of a funny thing because I'm literally sitting at the beach having this conversation with you, but Christmas trees, evergreens in general, and even Christmas tree lights are things that many of us do all over the world. We have that as a tradition, and many of us have no idea why. We have no idea the reason behind it. So today I wanted to come on here and I wanted to tell you the history behind it. Not all the history, but the beginnings, the ethos of where the Christmas tree, like why do we put evergreens in our home at this time of year? So the idea was, from the research that I've done, that and this came about because a couple of years ago we were putting up our Christmas tree and I turned and I said to my husband, why do we do this? This is such a weird thing that we're taking, a tree and and putting it up and putting lights and ornaments on it. And what is the tradition behind this? And I've heard many things, over the years, but I went back and I wanted to know, like, how did this even get started? And the idea behind Christmas trees, or the idea behind evergreens, I should say, because that's how it started, was the idea of putting evergreens in your home. It started because evergreens were revered. They were considered, magical. There must be something about these bushes or trees that never lost their needles. There's so many other trees or bushes that would lose their leaves come fall. And, in the Northern Hemisphere, things would lay fallow. And yet there were these trees that were just always green. And so there must be something magical about them. They must have incredible vitality. And so at a time of year in the Northern Hemisphere where, the fields are laying fallow and so many trees or bushes or foliage have died, to bring this vital plant, whether it was boughs of a tree or the tree itself or whatever it may be, into your home was considered good luck. That you were literally bringing in, at a time when so many things were, dead or decaying, you were bringing in this vitality into your home, and it was to bless your home, and it was considered good luck. And so that's how the tradition of bringing evergreens into your home got started. Now we do that today with the modern day Christmas tree, or garland on the mantelpiece, whatever it may be. But it still carries on this tradition of bringing vitality into your home at a time of year where vitality is low, right? So you're bringing it in, it's blessing your home. And then also this idea of Christmas tree lights. So with Christmas tree lights, it was the idea that, again, it's around winter solstice, darkest time of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, and the darkest nights, you're bringing in light. So even in the darkest night, there is hope. There is this light. And so Christmas tree lights, they started with candles. It was to represent, in fact, in some households, they would start a fire in the hearth, and that fire would go continuously for 12 days. It would not stop. It would just go continuously. And it was to summon or to welcome in the sun, to beckon back in the sun. And then, in other traditions, it was a candle that would be lit, and it would be lit and go continuously. So there would always be this flame that would be burning. And it was this idea of eternal hope, that even in the darkest night, there would be light and there would be hope. And so that's the idea, again, representing the sun coming back, representing the days getting longer. So those are, some of the ideas around Christmas tree and Christmas tree lights, having evergreens in our home. And even with mistletoe, mistletoe is talked about all the time in popular culture, like kissing under the mistletoe. And it's so funny because mistletoe is an evergreen, and how it got started with mistletoe is it's actually an herb that's used in fertility. And so it's used as a tonic for the female reproductive system. And actually in modern days, we use it for female reproductive cancers like breast cancer or uterine cancer. And so here you have a plant that's very feminine in nature. It's an evergreen, and it was used to bless couples. It was gifted to couples with the hopes of increasing their fertility. Again, during a time of year when, things were laying fallow, fields were laying fallow, you would be blessing a young couple with, with mistletoe, with the hopes that they would, increase their fertility so that they would have children. And so it's just so funny, these traditions that we celebrate, and often we have no idea the meaning behind them. And I think it's quite beautiful, actually, especially that of Christmas tree lights. And so I think of that now every time we put up our Christmas tree and we sit with the lights on. And I think of this idea that, we're blessing our home with vitality and also welcoming in this life force, right? And welcoming in the hope that even in the darkest night, that there is hope. We're welcoming back in the light. So there you go. That's what I have for you today. And I hope it inspires you. And I'll see you again tomorrow.